I just share it.
All right. We are getting ready to get this started. Here we go.
Peace, William.
All right.
Hello, Mr. Somerville.
We
How
are
are
getting
you?
ready to get this started. Here we go.
Peace, William.
Hello, Mr. Somerville. How are you?
All right. Well, while Mr. Somerville is. Oh, I'm sorry. It's okay. I'm talking while the phone is on mute. Right. It's okay. So let's get this show on the moon.
All right. Well, while Mr. Somerville
is, of course, you guys know who this is. And if you don't, this is
okay.
I'm talking while the phone is on mute. He's running for a Congress seat.
It's okay.
And,
so let's get this show on the move. We want to go ahead and, of course, you guys know who this is. And if you don't, this is Reverend William Somerville out of California. He's running for a Congress seat. And go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Hello, good people. Reverend William Moses Somerville here, congressional candidate, 42nd Congressional District, which consists of Long Beach, Bellflower, Downey, Cudahy, Bell Gardens, Huntington Park mostly. Obviously running on a comprehensive reparations platform. Some of you all probably saw where I had identified, or it was shared, a clip of an interview I did with the reparationist perspective on what comprehensive reparations is for me and what I'll be pushing for and proposing. And that is both policies and paychecks. Policies to combat, address, eradicate white supremacy, paychecks to close the racial wealth gap, and then, build, grow, and go from there for we as a people. A little bit about me. I'm a guy of Midwestern swag, raised as a Southern gentleman from Illinois, went to school in the South. Parents are from the South. And living off the lineage of my fourth great grandfather Horace Somerville, who was my fourth great grandmother on my mother's side, who was the inherited property of my boat when I off the ships and into the land, going back to Virginia, but I'm still wrestling over the fact of my fourth great grandmother on my mother's side, who was the inherited property of my fourth great grandfather. That's why I'm moving the space with urgency for comprehensive reparations, and we go from there. So yeah.
You want to do a little housekeeping?
That, of course, is an amazing story. And for those of us who are from the California or Los Angeles area, we definitely, truly are appreciating you so much more. We want to do a little housekeeping. So I have put up in the Jumbotron, my beautiful co-host here will definitely throughout the evening let you guys know where you can go and donate. You love what you hear. Let's get Reverend William Somerville to Congress, because as we know, we need representation. We will be taking questions. If you have questions that you would like to ask Mr. Somerville, we will bring you up on stage one at a time. Please shoot them over to the beautiful co-host or myself in DM. It is not to shy away from anything, but it just helps us to make sure that we are doing our due diligence to also not only protect the candidate, but also make sure that we are able to have your questions and they are being represented as the candidate is running. So please, we look forward to speaking with each and every one of you on this call tonight in this meet and greet. Let's get to it. would you like to tell the people where they can go ahead and donate?
You talking about me or Samantha?
Samantha.
Okay. Samantha, you're on mute.
Hey, you guys. Sorry. My toddler was trying to hang out with me. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the space. And what did you ask, Bella, for me to tell them where to donate?
Yes, ma'am. I put it up in the Jumbotron.
So yes, it's somervilleforcongress.com/donations. Yeah, that's it.
All right.
And
So
yes, please donate whatever you guys can donate. We really greatly appreciate it. And try to donate at least once a month if you can. That'd be greatly appreciated as well. This is a grassroots effort. We're not taking any corporation money, big pharma money or oil money, etc. We're trying to run a wholesome campaign. So anything you guys can give, thank you.
It's interesting. I want to touch on that point of not taking corporate PAC, business PAC money. I don't know if some of you all, some of the California Task Force testimony today, but it further asserts as to why we need money out of politics, because it became a question as the discussion was happening and as the task force was meeting around who should be the priority of the beneficiaries of reparations. And I'm like, why are we having this conversation? Well, of course we're having this conversation because politicians who are bought are a part of it. Which I give mad props to NAASD for literally penetrating this corporate entity culture, especially out here in California. They say it's a democratic state. They say it's a progressive state. As California goes, so there goes the nation. I put the brakes on that because they really are Republicans in Democratic clothing more than anything. And that's a whole nother situation. But yeah, I'm that much more convinced why I sit on my conviction and square around the fact that I'm pushing to raise money, not to take corporate PAC business money. That much more. Because what was going on with the task force and how you could totally see the rehearsed ones who were not really out for us, and they were there for posturing and posterity. So yeah.
thank you, Mr. Somerville. Like that's important actually to hear, and it's good to know. That's why you need our support so much more, just so that way we know that it was our best efforts that got you into Congress and your hard work. So with that two things being together, to me, that's a superhero combination when you have the dynamic dual, the community as well as representation. So
Right.
please, guys, look forward to sharing the link. It's in the Jumbotron. And again, if you would like to come up and introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, shoot a question over to myself or the co-host in DM. And again, it's not to shy away from any questions. It really is for us for recording purposes, and so that way we can make sure that your concerns are being addressed and that they are being met. And uh, Reverend William Somerville is very, very passionate about making sure that he is doing what he say he's going to do. So with that being said, would you like to start taking questions?
Yes, please. Let's
All
get
right.
to it.
All right, guys. For you to do, hit that request button and come on up.
Not everybody at once.
All right, come on, guys. It's up to you. If you don't have the questions, if you don't ask the questions, listen, we
No,
can't
no,
get
no,
the insights.
no worries. Probably some folks are still formulating them, which is fine. and I'm okay with it. Last week I spoke on what I would further be pushing with a comprehensive reparations plan and platform. Um, and that is basically, what does it involve for us to, well, not even what is involved. I will be pushing for an agenda around how we get comprehensive reparations through institutions. The institution of, and I feel like these institutions are the ones that are obviously negatively affecting us as descendants of U.S. chattel slavery, freedmen, and like I said, I'll be pushing for a holistic comprehensive reparations. Comes in the area or the institutions of legal, economics, education, religions, real estate, environmental racism or environment, uh, military, media, healthcare, and international affairs. Um, I feel like reparations, when presented and making the presentation and the pitch to Congress, once we, if you will, write the bill, it has to be all inclusive, addressing it with all of those institutions. If not, it's not comprehensive reparations, let alone reparations for us. Especially in the fact that we in America live in this objective standardization of whiteness. So yeah. So that's the approach. That's the proposal that I'm putting forth, that I'll be putting forth, and hopefully I'll have company where we can shake things up that much more with brother Marcel, sister Tamara, and Brandon, and get the progressive, obviously, to back this from the Progressive Caucus, because I don't think the Congressional Black Caucus could be of much help to us right now until we start get the allies and coalition of folk to support the proposal that much more. So this is all a part of governing.
Okay, so it looks like we have someone on stage. Hey, Blabar, tell us where you're hailing from, and go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, hello. I'm currently in the state of Pennsylvania with plans to migrate to the state of Delaware as soon as I can put together this group to make it happen. But my question is, I think I was listening to NPR today. It was about technology, and I know I believe the rapper Nas is involved heavily in technology. Chameleonaire, who I know specifically does advocate and train Black youth in technological spaces. And what they were saying on this program was that there is a pipeline through certain universities where Silicon Valley, especially these technology companies that are worth trillions of dollars, they seem to only pull from these certain specific universities, but Black Americans in the tech space are not being admitted and or going to those universities. So the universities where Black people are at, they never enter into this pipeline for these jobs. So this is super critical. I just learned about Web 3.0, which is like the next wave of the entire internet space. And so what are your thoughts and what are your policies, and how do you see us funneling the Black intelligent technological students into getting these jobs with these companies?
Great question. So the answer is really multifold of sorts. One, I think we need to identify who's in the tech field right now, and in so doing, how can I say it? Set up programs to fund Black folks in the tech field right now, extra fund the Black folks in tech field right now, most specifically us descendants, and and identify where they see the holes and the pipelines, the holes for a pipeline to be made. Then we identify who are the current students, the college students in tech pursuing the careers. And it goes back to, the push that we be more of a protected class. So even if we can't get through the pipelines, the fact that we're protected class will, in essence, be the affirmative action that we were supposed to get when affirmative action was initially established, in order to, like I said, to get the involvement and participation and to be a part of, the system within tech. Furthermore, and I think it was talked about today, was touched upon, which I won't be able to give much justice around. But in the task force meeting today, they talked about the disparities of the algorithm, the racist disparities of algorithm with most specifically descendants of U.S. chattel slavery, because we know the challenges of immigration that those policies push us out in order for these companies and corporations to further exacerbate the employment and income wealth gap as it relates to Black folks in the tech space, and the fact that the tech space is not really us friendly. So, so yeah. So basically, to answer your question, push for, like I said, identifying who's in the field now, get feedback from them, get us as a protected class, because that's really my first priority. Is that we really need to be a protected class because we're not safe. We may not know now levels of safety and where we are. Okay, we don't have that, but not that we don't have that, but not that that there's ranges around safety. But like I said, I really want us fully protected, and then we can further mobilize and galvanize around our needs that much more. So yeah.
Okay, awesome. As a quick follow up, so yeah, you talked about the discrimination, the discriminatory algorithm. So do you see a path for legislation to eliminate that and to ensure that that doesn't exist?
I'll push for that legislation. I'm not seeing any right now, but once again, I'm clearly just one person. Um, and for what I would like what is push for legislation to criminalize whiteness, to criminalize discrimination that much more as a protected class. So that's where my head is.
Thank you, Blabar. I appreciate you coming up and asking your question. Um, just a quick recap. We can go back over to the co-host and we will give you guys some direction in regards to the donation box. Go ahead, Samantha.
Hey everyone, just want to again ask for donations. If you can give $5, $10 a month, that would be great. It really help out with William's campaign. This is a grassroots effort. So we're not taking any big PAC money, corporation money, etc. Go ahead, William. Were you about to say something?
Oh wow, you heard me breathe. I was
Oh,
just excited. I just wanted to report, uh, if I believe, if all goes according to plan, what we've raised as a campaign thus far, solely off of grassroots, people-powered donation, um, is at $30,000. We're gonna be reporting that all the same. So I'm really excited about that. Um, yeah, and yeah. So just wanted to mention that.
Well, that is excellent news. My emojis are not working. Go ahead,
That
my
is
emojis are
definitely amazing. But we need to surpass that, correct? Because as we know, the powers that be, they are pushing for millions, and right now we know that we are trying to get you in a good position. So that is definitely a wonderful thing to hear that you have raised that amount of money both on the ground level. So let's get this social media up. Let's get in here and ask these questions. And hey, you'll have how much time do we have? We have about maybe about
About
a
another
little
half
over
hour, because
half an
yeah,
hour.
half hour, a little
So
more than half hour. Yeah, we good.
don't, okay, don't be shy, guys, because I snatched him away, and I'm trying to get him not to run away.
I'm not running away. Yeah, it just yeah, no, it's just been a crazy day. That's all. And we have our 5 o'clock meeting, obviously.
Yes, definitely. So come on in, guys. Make sure you're sharing this on your other platforms. Bring in all of the Californians if we can get them in here. I know if you did not listen to the NAASD, you can definitely replay that back as well. But Reverend William Somerville is definitely right there running parallel along with the organization and the California Task Force for the district in our favor.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. William, can you give us any updates on things you've been working on over the past week or so since we last spoke?
Yeah. So right now, um, I'm about to just go through the motions. I don't expect much, but today I just filed for endorsement from the California Democratic Party, or should I say, in order for me to seek the endorsement from the California Democratic Party, what that involves is me trying to whip as many delegate votes that are among my congressional district to vote for me, and 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 assuming enough delegates vote for me in what is called this pre-endorsing conference. If we get the endorsement, which I'm not expecting to get it, but at the same time, but if we do, then what that means is I get at least $100,000 from the California Democratic Party uh, as a representation. However, like I said, I'm not their favorite. I accepted that I'm not their favorite. I accepted that we're doing this thing grassroots, um, but also see what support I can get to further expand the groundswell that we already have. Fortunate enough, our grassroots campaign consists of at least 200 volunteers. And this Saturday, we're doing a caravan driving around to honk and make noise in the city. But yeah, and that's where we are. So yeah, that's just a few of the things, and hopefully we'll have our first commercial ad out next week too. So yeah.
Are there any new endorsements that you've gotten recently over the last week or so? Because I know you were expecting an endorsement.
Yes, thank you for asking. House Representative Danny K. Davis out of Illinois. Um, he's endorsed our campaign. Uh, Currently, right now, Congresswoman O'Connor is doing the background check, and also one of the president of the Black Bixby Black Chamber of Commerce just endorsed our campaign, and a couple of school board members out of Pasadena has endorsed our campaign. Um, so we're doing good there. Yeah, we just like I said, we just plugging away, and come February is when I'll be making the pitch out of all of out of all the groups for a lot of groups for endorsement, and the ancestors have really been on our side because one thing that I'm challenging non-descendants of chattel slavery out here is the fact that, okay, I saw y'all with during George Floyd, but are you just going to just support dead Black lives or living Black lives? Here's one front and center for you to support. So yeah.
I'm gonna just put this here.
That's a great question, William. So you guys keep those donations coming. Also, if you guys want to volunteer, you can email me at blackpoliticalswingers@gmail.com and to our website, blackpoliticalswingers.com, for upcoming events for all of our reparations candidates.
Go team.
Go team. So,
So
advertising.
let's real
Go
quick,
ahead.
real quick. Can we do a roll call from where everyone is? Because like I said, I know most of y'all on the East Coast. And what are some of your concerns, or East Coast, West, South? What are some of you all's concerns out your way? Because, like I said, I'm a kid from the Midwest. Roots are in the South, obviously. And what I notice with what I feel like I have out here is the luxury that, other political candidates, let alone Black folks, maybe Marcel is the exception to the rule, but Black folks going into politics can't really be free. And so what are some of the concerns for us, out in the West that you all have identified? And we can do a roll call, obviously, with who's present.
All right. Did I want to identify Mr. Mark Stevens. Would you like to join us on stage? Oh, we have Swanee. Swanee hit the button. Hold on. Hey, Swanee. Peace, peace, peace.
Peace, Swanee.
Hey, peace, love, and reparations to my freedmen, brothers and sisters. Do I have the mic? Do I have the opportunity to speak right now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. My brother, I got on here before. We had some conversation about, unionism. Now I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Most of my family still lives in South Carolina, Alabama, and Virginia. However, I'm in Pittsburgh, where I have a whole slew of family here as well. But anyhow, I just want to mention I'm the president of my union here in Pittsburgh, UE Locals 10. Some of our concerns here in the Pittsburgh area and the surrounding areas is when it comes to union rights. Now, our union is huge, and the rights around the country, like for an example, I'm in the private sector. We have collective bargaining rights. But most public sector workers in like North Carolina, they don't have the right to collective bargaining, right? So when it comes to things of having a right to form a union, and let me just give y'all a gem. If you never watched the movie 10,000 People Named,
Hold on one second, Swanee.
William, were you trying to say something?
Yes, I just wanted to ask Brother Swanee if he can explain what collective bargaining is for those of us that may not be familiar with it.
Yeah, Swanee, did you hear the question? Can you explain what collective bargaining is for those of us who are not?
So when it comes to union rights and just unionism, period, what are your thoughts on building a strong, actually having a right to form a union in your location, in your area, to grow? Because if you know about it, most of our ancestors tried to form a union after slavery. The sharecroppers union, they were all killed. Most of them were killed. They're trying to form a union. Then we have our brothers like A. Philip Randolph who came along, who helped organize unions as well. So
That's
what
right.
do you
Go
think
mob.
we need to do to make sure we can grow strong unions within our communities?
Yeah, and that's a particular targeting tactic and post I think needs to happen. Um, the challenge is twofold. One, off the off the uh, off the cuff, I am for workers the right to unionize. I'm for that, obviously, but what I further challenge is, especially as it relates to the disparities of unionization with Black folks, um, is that unions don't get corrupt, and that's really the bigger problem out here in California um, as well. Like you have unions, they'll push for, you know, fair wages, fair rights, fair treatment for who's unionized, but they don't operate in the capacity out of which they're calling the corporations and companies into question. And especially as it relates to Black folks, we're shutting us out. And so that's why I'm calling on, you know, the Latino brothers and sisters to say, look, you want this black and brown coalition, but you're not exercising it within your respective communities. Most specifically, those obviously in charge who are doing the bargaining and things of that nature. And so that's why I'd say we need to be a protected class that much more. And I'll even take it further to say, not to say that when, if we need to be a protected class, we need to be a unionized class if we're getting pushed out in in these companies and unions that are not, you know, treating us fairly that much more. So yeah. Does that answer some of your question, Brother Swanee?
Yeah, absolutely. Twitter has been kicking me in and out of here, so I missed part of your first points, but I got the last part, and I appreciate that. And
Okay.
I just want to follow up real quick, if you don't mind, and say, I'm an electrician as well, and there's not a lot of our people into trades. Electricians, plumbers, welders, and general contractors in general. And, for the past, 30, 40 years, they've been pushing our people to go to college and universities. However, when they graduate, they have no jobs with master's degrees and bachelor's degrees. So, I try to, even in my own community, I try to push for trades right now. Be an electrician to own your own business, plumbers, carpenters, whatever it may be. That's what our focus needs to be. So, what are your thoughts on when it comes to education and educating our communities when it comes to college universities versus trade schools and trades? Because I think that's where we need to go.
Yeah, I agree. Um, and I would bring the argument around, we do have that. The problem is uh, these companies or organizations, or even once again unions, are not welcoming in brothers and sisters who are formerly incarcerated to be a part of the workforce that gain those trade skills while incarcerated. And so um so like yeah, so like I would push for that much more, and you know, identify the fact that even if even with persons who want to go to college doesn't mean uh you, or who are in college as well, doesn't mean you cannot pick up trade that much as well. So yeah, so I did all that, I championed that, and I'll be pushing for that. So thank you for your question.
Thank you, Swanee. We have another person in the queue.
I can't hear, you're on mute, or whoever it is.
Here that she's up. I believe this is Goody hands.
I'm seeing ignorance is not a solution, possibly. Ignorance is not a solution. You're next to ask your question. You have to come off mute.
Oh, sorry about that. You said you saw goody hands?
I'm sorry, I'm doing 20 things at one time. I just clicked on your profile. How are you?
Good. How you doing? Good evening, everybody. Well, let me start from here.
Where you
We don't
from?
have Washington D.C. From Washington
Okay.
D.C. and
All right.
born and raised. Um, First, let me say that we here we don't have a voice. Um, I feel that
Yeah.
the Black people here we don't have a voice. It's the justice system is horrible. And when I say horrible, I mean words can't even express. I mean how horrible it is. I mean you go for help. I've been dealing with a situation where I reached out to the system for help because I encountered talking to someone who works for the NSA, works for the government, and this person initially took his job and took it upon himself to basically hack my life, and
Mm.
other people capitalized off of it to the point where I had about 50 people on my phone line listening to my phone calls. So
Mm.
come to find out, one of the persons who was involved was his cousin, who is a detective. So I went to the police station and gave my situation and my story and told what happened and found out other people that I knew was involved and was on my line too. So this is a party line on my line. So I'm trying to get these people off my phone line. So I'm trying to seek for help. And basically they're telling me it's just a misdemeanor and that I'm on my own pretty much. So I filed a report. When I filed a report on a couple of people who was involved. One of them was a detective. So they gave the report to the detective colleague who's in internal affairs, who sits right across from him. Okay. So now here I am trying to explain myself and tell my story to his colleague. Okay. Now the colleague is going over my paperwork and my report. So basically, he's not going to do anything because that's his colleague. You know, they sit right across from each other. So that nothing didn't happen in that situation. So I said, okay, let me take it to a higher level and take it to the FBI and have them investigate it and investigate the story and the situation. So when I did that, that's when they took it upon themselves. I guess because maybe because he's a detective, he has friends in the FBI. So they took it upon themselves not to do anything either. You know what I mean? So now I'm in a situation which started back in 2016, 6 years ago. Not only are they playing on my phone, but they tell a whole bunch of lies. Now they got the government involved. So I'm everywhere I go, every city I'm in, they're tracking me and trailing me, telling lies on me, making these stories on me that I haven't even seen. That other people is alerts that's coming to their phones. I haven't even got not one alert. Well, I can't see what you're saying about me. If it's so true, let me see it. They don't let me see nothing. Okay, people are believing what they're reading. You know what I mean? Because some people are so easy to be brainwashed, and they're taking this as a joke when it has affected not only my life but my children's life too. I have my
Right.
son sitting in the jail
Right.
in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. Okay,
Mm.
who's in Upper Marlboro, Maryland? In them jails, police officers. Okay, so this police officer has made me look so bad, not just to other police officers, but to the community too. I've moved from where I was living at in Maryland to Virginia. They followed me out to Virginia. Now the police officers out here harassing me, and it's like non-stop harassment.
I seek the Justice Department. I went to the DOG, and because he's probably been in the field for so long, he knows people, in law enforcement, in the justice system.
Right.
So he's using his resources to keep harassing me. And no one is doing nothing about this. And it's like nonstop, nonstop, nonstop. People take it as a joke. At one point in time, me and my child homeless because of this mess. Homeless. I lost my home. I was working,
Wow.
doing work in the healthcare field, going to people's homes, drawing their blood. They were calling people before I even get to their homes, telling them bad stuff about me. So at this point, these people don't even want to deal with me. So I lost my job. I lost my job. So what happens when you lose your job? I lost my home. And it's like non-stop, non-stop. This behavior's been going on, God knows, 6 years, since 2016. And they literally have about 50 people on my device listening to my calls, listening to my conversations from my car, from my television. Me and my child, me and my family has when I say no privacy at all. You can go to the goddamn doctor's office and my business and what I said and what happened in the doctor's office. Everyone would know. In the doctor's office, where there should be a HIPAA violation. Everyone. So, I mean, this mess is nonstop. It's sickening to me. It's sickening to me that people who have power and position of color don't do nothing about it. They know what's going on and they take it as a joke. If this was to happen to you, if they do this to me, they gonna do this to you and anybody else. It's called harassment and it's called sabotage.
Excuse me, sister. Excuse me, real quick. As I'm listening to you, I'm thinking about the whole Edward Snowden NSA ordeal. Are you familiar with that?
No, I'm not. Somebody told me to file in 1983.
Yeah. So, well,
I'm sick and tired of this shit. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of being harassed. I'm tired of this shit. This shit been going on for 6 years.
Wow. Wow.
I'm so sorry that it's happening to you, beautiful. I just had to I wanted you to just take a moment because I know it is not easy for us.
Yeah.
You want to go ahead and respond?
Yeah, no, we just real quick to acknowledge where she's from and the fact that um, privacy clearly is an issue. If King were alive, he would basically say, "I told you so." Um, and so and now, like I said, in light of the how can I say it, the technology wars that we're in, she's clearly evidence and a perfect example of what is transpiring. And once again, where we're not protected, and so I push that much more that we be a protected class. Next question or next person, share where you at, where you from, what have you. What is
Real
issues
quick,
in your area?
Mr. Somerville, she's still on stage, and I just wanted to
Oh,
before
okay.
I send her back down, I just wanted to check on her, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Miss Goody 81, are you there? You just have to come off mute.
I'm still here.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. And we definitely will. This is a recorded space, just so you know. So please, come into our other spaces where you can freely express what's going on with you, because we would definitely love to hear more of your story. Okay.
I'm upset right now because this shit has gotten out of hand, and I'm
I
sick and
understand.
tired of my life being put on the line. And you know what I mean? I don't deserve to be treated like this, nor does my family or whatever. I just want some justice or whatever. Instead of being called a fucking snitch or whatever, like they doing to me or whatever. I just want fuck.
Yeah.
We'll definitely go to the next person. So hopefully she will definitely be able to come into one of our other spaces. That way we can give her her time to really vent. You know, that's really unfortunate just to hear, and it's just so sad because like we need representation.
Right. And representation that's not bought. That's the issue.
Yes.
Like what she was highlighting, what she was sharing was basically where we clearly have the quote unquote people in position, but they're not doing anything because due to the issue of money in politics, due to the issue of being bought, due to the issue of not, exercising courage. Like it just, and then it, like Malcolm X said, how can you take a crime to the criminal for protection? So yeah, so this, like I said, this is, she's an exact, is clearly point of reference of why we lose our minds up in here, up in here, up in here. So yeah.
Most definitely. All right. So for anyone else, we're gonna go back to the jumbotron. Samantha, go ahead and uh, tell us what we need to do while we wait on the next person to come up on here. Up in here, we have the Houston in the building, Kari, Negro Aiden. We are calling you guys to the stage. Tell us where you're from and what do you see in your town that is not allowing you to be vocalized.
Hey everyone, so I see we have Marcel in the room. We have Natalie James for Senate, who's running in
Hey
Arkansas, I
Marcel.
believe.
Hey Sister Natalie James in Arkansas.
And then we also have
My,
Brandon Dean, who's running in the state of Alabama. Go ahead, William.
no, I'm just excited that I have Marcel and Brandon in the room. That's all.
Yes, we definitely try to support each other. We're in this together. We're reparation is family. This is not for the faint of heart, the work we do.
No,
So you guys,
it is not.
if you guys can donate, make any donations, $5, $10. All we ask is that you also try to do it monthly. A recurring donation definitely helps our campaign since it is a grassroots effort. I'm not taking any money from big corporations or oil, big pharma, etc., so that we can run a real campaign for the people. And we're really just depending on you guys for donations as well as volunteering your time, whether you can do phone banking, knocking on doors, mailing off, postcards to the registered voters, anything. We will greatly appreciate it. You can email me at blackpoliticalslingers@gmail.com. And I'll go ahead and let Bella speak because I think Kari's on stage. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you for that, Samantha. Hey, Kari. Welcome to the stage. You are on stage with Mr. Reverend William Somerville. Take it away.
Hi, Stace. How is everybody doing? The conversation is really good here. Earlier, for the past 2 days, I was listening to the other spaces, especially the
Speak up a little
ones
bit. I
that
can't hear you. I'm sorry. Sister, right?
Mr.
Mister, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you for
yes,
the clarity.
Mister.
Yeah.
Yes. So this space has been wonderful. As far as where I see, I'm now currently in San Antonio, Texas. But I am originally from Goldsboro, North Carolina, which is 75% Black, American descendants of slaves and stuff. Those are my roots, North Carolina, Virginia area. But that's my people. And I can tell you from when I was there Thanksgiving, um, everything was worse than 2 years ago when I had left to come to Texas. Um, there were a whole lot of
Can we,
businesses that.
I'm sorry, Kari. Can we mute the mic, William?
Yes, I'm sorry,
Thank you, sir.
because it's hard for me to hear him too. So thank you.
You're welcome. Go ahead, Kari.
Sorry, I'm not loud enough. I'm getting over the flu and stuff too, so I don't want to strain my voice. The From what I witnessed at home, um, they had spent so much money in revitalizing the downtown area and stuff, and this coronavirus has completely wiped out most of the small mom and pop businesses that were already struggling in the first place before the pandemic. So now my little hometown looks like it's going to become a ghost town and stuff. And I really want to do something to help my home community and stuff, but I couldn't even, live in my home state because of how expensive everything has gotten. So, that's why I'm hard on this reparations push. But that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you obviously for sharing. Um, which once again, it just we need to be a protected class. One of my goals is that that once we get elected, myself, Marcel, Tamara, Brandon, Natalie, it's just what I feel like we're gonna have to do is set up shop and offices in areas that's not just our districts either, because we're so neglected everywhere. And and really do the charity thing until we can get the policy that's needed that charity shouldn't have to address. And that's basically our protection. So yeah, so thank you for your comment. And also, just real quick, Brother Kari, um, when you mentioned about how COVID is like wiping us out where you are, where your roots are. I work as a hospice chaplain, and in a couple months ago, 2 months ago, the black folks who I see as COVID patients in the hospital are coming or have had traveled from North Carolina or South Carolina. And after they made the trip out to California, they're in our ICU units, unfortunately dying. And I just think about this one brother who came to help uh, his friend move to California. And not only was this, um, not only did his brother catch COVID, but obviously he died of COVID, but also he had, his other comorbidities. And we later learned, unfortunately, that, he was HIV positive and wasn't treated. And so, yeah, yeah, it's a whole situation. So once again, thank you for your comment. But furthermore, as to this urgency around why we need comprehensive reparations for us as a protected class. So thank you.
You're welcome. And, I just wanted to say that recently I had lost my stepmother to COVID and stuff. Yeah. So it hits home right now. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Kari, for that. We have about a few more minutes, and we have Mr. Marcel Dixon on the stage. We have two reparation candidates on the sharing the same stage. Thanks for supporting Reverend William Somerville. Marcel, peace
The
to
only
you.
the only reason why I got some Twitter presence is because of Marcel.
Not
Because
just
I
Hey,
know
because
I'm
of
new
hey,
on
Marcel.
Twitter,
we'll
so
take it,
That's
William. However we can get it.
exactly.
listen, I'm okay with it, but yeah,
Resources in both all directions.
because I am so dormant and not a Twitter person. Brother Marcel, speak on it, man.
Hey everyone. I was actually going to ask Kari.
a question. Because his story that he's sharing is similar to mine. I'm just sure mine's has always been bad. The town I've lived in always been a economically depressed, neglected town, neglected area, and that's one of the reasons why I ran. So, and I'm the last person. I'm still a person that many people will look at just because of my social economic background. I didn't go to some prestigious university. I'm so lucky I went to university at all. So I'm the last person still that a lot of people will expect to have run for Congress. And I was going to ask Kari though, has he ever considered doing so? Because the reason I decided to run was because I thought that my people were being ran over.
That's
And
right.
the reason I
That's right.
decided to run was because no one else was running on a platform that was going to look out for our people and be proud and unapologetically aggressively pro-black and not pro-black but pro-freedom, pro-black American. So I was going to ask, sorry, I know North Carolina is not quite as black as South Carolina, but it still has a good few bit of districts in North Carolina that are heavily black, and I think one or two are majority black. And actually, Carl, has he ever thought about trying to run for public office? I had no money. I wasn't well educated. I'm in an area that I have a family of four, no connections, and he would have support if he decided to do so. Because ultimately, that is where change for our people is going to come from. It's going to come from us. This country never done nothing for us, and everything we've had, we've fought and we've earned it ourselves, and we still have to do that. We've had to fight the anti-black white bigot. We've had to fight the coons among us, but we've always fought and we've always won. So that was just what I wanted to say.
Yeah,
Thank
no.
you for that,
Yeah.
Marcel.
And
William,
yeah,
we had one more person that came up, the House of C. Do you have time to take this last question?
yes.
Okay. Welcome, Mr. C. Go ahead and ask the question
Yeah,
or make your statement.
I've only got one question, and this is for everybody that's basically running. What do you guys plan on doing about the CBC? Are you guys planning on joining? If you do join, are you hoping to maybe make changes from the inside? That's all I got.
So,
Thank you for that.
so here's where I am with the CBC. I was encouraged to reach. How can I say this? I wasn't intending to join the CBC because I feel like they really haven't done nothing for us, and it's a whole bunch of posturing. But at the same time, the CBC that's us, and so we can get. We not only we should be there. We have every right to be there as much as folks, posturing who are currently there right now. Um, Now, from what I understand, the CBC membership is $25,000, and I feel like my $25,000 can go somewhere into our communities that could further help us rather than the CBC. So I'm vacillating on that, and or yeah, so I'm vacillating on that. That's where I am as it relates to the CBC, because it just they they're not. I feel like nothing's really getting done out of there for us, and I'd be better just being the grassroots politician that I am. Work to get on this health subcommittee, which will further identify and and present. How can I say it? Surface what is already wrong with us to make that argument of racism be a public health crisis. So that's where I am with CBC. I don't know about my other comrades, but that's where I
I'm not joining. They done
am.
nothing. The
I
Congressional Black Caucus is just a name. I have other names for them, but I'm trying to be nice. I call them the Slack Caucus because they sure hell ain't for black people. They're not going to be called the Black Caucus. I'm starting a reparationist caucus that's going to be devoted to black Americans, freedmen, and that's actually going to do the job legitimately and aggressively. That means every damn day we wake up, we are going to get out that bed like we are in a crisis because we are, and we're going to be like, get the hell out my way or get on board. The Congressional Black Caucus too busy trying to make illegal immigrant citizens, too busy trying to pass hate bills for Asian Americans to lock more of us up, even though over 80% of the hate crimes against Asians are done by white men, and they aren't doing a damn thing about it. They could have had an hate bill for us onto the Asian American COVID bill. They did not. They could have easily included legislation for us in several of these packages, but they're bragging about this senile president we have now just passing, and they did not. I'm not joining them. They are a disgrace. I don't care how old they are or what civil rights background you got. What you did in 1960s, that's great. We are suffering now in 2022 because what you fought to get rid of in the 1960s, we're still going through in 2022. As a matter of fact, now we're doing worse. So I'm not joining them. I thought it was free. They sure as hell not getting no money from me.
Right? It's like, yeah, no.
All right, listen, and I think that was the benediction. So, with that,
Judge.
we're gonna end on that note. And with that being said, I do apologize for those of you who did request. We start at the top of the hour, and I do apologize. Mr. Reverend William Somerville, he is here on Thursdays. We'll be changing up a little bit. So stay tuned for the new schedule coming up. Also, please make sure that you hit the donation box if you love what you heard. Make sure you go and support these candidates, and they are not shy to answer your questions. Look at their agendas and make sure that you are being heard. And with them, you definitely, definitely will. So again, that's somervilleforcongress.com / donations. Mr. Somerville, would you like to take us on out of here?
Thank you all for joining me, being gracious with your time. Time is really the highest commodity to me. And my goal is that we seek not to waste it in order to further enjoy it, to be liberated, repaired, and fully living into who we were made to be. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Samantha, would you like to say your last words?
Thanks to you guys for joining us. We'll see you next week. Peace, love, and reparations.
Peace, love, and reparations.
says good nights. No, good night nights. Oh.